Alright there, you little demons. Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, the weekly medieval theme format where I, the crown Jules of WhatCulture.com, take a list chosen by you, yes you, who at the time of recording this is only a couple of days away from their hernia surgery. So I'm actually recording a batch of these in bulk so I can continue to entertain, at least I hope I do, the masses while I'm on bed rest. So yes, hopefully everything will go well. If not, this is a bit of content from beyond the grave. I doubt that that's actually going to happen. But yes, you get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have none other to thank than John Speasy for their suggestion of video games that exploded thanks to social media and the fan bases around the world. You know what? I thought to myself, this is a brilliant suggestion for a list because there has been, well, so many video games that have just erupted in popularity thanks to a huge swell of social media support. Sometimes these games would have completely fallen under the radar if it weren't for you. So before I start today's episode, I'm going to put a big thank you out there to you, not only for making the games that we're going to talk about today as popular as they are, but also for supporting the channel, for supporting me personally, for supporting all of us here at What Culture. My girlfriend has just dropped something very heavy in the room above us. But thanks. The thing is, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you who have supported us over the years. It means a huge amount. Big love to you, my friends. Thank you. And now consider this my thanks to you as we celebrate 8 video games that blew up thanks to you. And you know the drill by now. Pop your suggestions for next week's episode down in the comment section below, and I will read them from my bed, my hospital bed, as I recover. Let's get on with it, shall we? Number 8, Among Us. Now, it would be massively understating the case to ignore the very special circumstances that led social deduction game Among Us to become a viral phenomenon. After all, it initially released in 2018 to little fanfare, with a concurrent Steam player count in the triple digits at best. But then, oh, what's this crashing through my wall and bouncing off of my face? Why, it's the COVID pandemic. I'm going to need to get that completely sanitized now. Thank you very much for that. And because we were all trapped in our homes, we were all just sitting there twiddling our thumbs, just going, right, okay, what to do? How's the weather out there? Oh, it's the endless void. Okay, I better stay inside and stay online. Oh, that's the endless void too. Let's play some video games instead. What could cheer me up in this game where I basically need to, at this time, pull together as a society and really just get through this together? Oh yeah, a game that means that you tear every single social strand apart very, very slowly by pointing tons of fingers. Like this. By September 2020, the game had almost 500,000 concurrent players on Steam alone. Its popularity, no doubt, further exacerbated by lockdown notices keeping players at home across the globe, while craving a fun, socially focused multiplayer game to provide some mental relief. Plus, let's not forget, this gave rise to the word sus. So, thanks for that. I mean, it definitely helped spread the popularity of the game, although my lexicon definitely took a dent by adding that to it. Number 7, Rocket League. Now here's the thing, on paper, if you were to pitch to me a game that was all about five-a-side football but you're in cars instead, I'd probably be like, well, that is a surefire guaranteed smash hit because that sounds amazing. But then you remember that this is an indie game being released in an indie market where basically not having an outlandish premise such as this is akin to a death sentence. So basically, as exciting as this sounded, all it basically did was keep it afloat, just along with the thousands of other brilliant titles with mad gimmicks. And developer Psyonix could have never surely anticipated just how warmly embraced their sequel to 2008's little-known supersonic acrobatic rocket-powered battle cars would ultimately be. They certainly did themselves a solid, though, by cutting a deal with Sony to release Rocket League for free to PlayStation Plus subscribers, ensuring that millions had access to it day one without any extra expense. Yet the genius of Rocket League isn't merely how mechanically tight and compulsively addictive it is, but how it so perfectly appealed to people who love football games, to people who love racing games, and even people who didn't much care for either. That would be me. Yeah, I absolutely love this game. I'm terrible at it, but I can't stop playing it. I had a series of matches with my friend Kai, who is much, much better than I am at this game. To say that he carried me is a huge understatement, but you know what? Bless his socks. He was constantly just there like, all right then, but we lost that game, like 10-0 we did, but we'll try again next time. And I was like, trying not to remind him that this was the 5th 10-0 defeat that we'd had in a row that day. Yeah, bless him, mate. He's the best. Incredibly easy to pick up, but fiendishly difficult to master, Rocket League's low barrier of entry and brilliantly peculiar mishmash of game genres ensured that players en masse just couldn't put it down. And let's be honest, if you haven't sarcastically spammed, what a save, what a save, what a save, over and over once a goal has gone in, you're probably lying. Almost a decade later, Rocket League remains hugely popular both as a game and as an esport, and it's the result of a perfect confluence of so many factors, an easily understood hook, smart release strategy, and gameplay loop ripe for bite-sized clip-outs on social media. Number 6. Untitled Goose Game. Now here's the thing, Untitled Goose Game is an absolute banterous title. It's one of those games where you could show it to anyone and they'll immediately have their interest piqued because you're playing a little quacker just going around, just stealing stuff, just being a pain in the ass, just being a goose, basically. It's hilarious fun and will always have an audience. But the real twist to this tale isn't necessarily the gameplay, but actually the title, because the studio was struggling to come up with a name for their game, so they just left it as Untitled Goose Game, and that was the moment that social media picked up on it and exploded it into popularity. The publisher's placeholder title made it an instant viral curio, and so when Untitled Goose Game's first trailer dropped in 2017, it immediately gained traction online, which impressively sustained through to its release almost 2 years later. Upon launch, the game quickly spawned innumerable memes, and an academic paper was ultimately even written to try and make sense of why this game about a mischievous goose resonated so deeply with so many. To be honest, I can summarize that entire paper down to one sentence. It is fun to be annoying sometimes, especially when the stakes are so low. That's it. It's just fun to just wind somebody up over very petty things. But yes, ultimately, whatever the reason, Untitled Goose Game tapped into something primal, even universal, and reaped the enormous benefits. Number 5. ChoCho Charles. Okay, so ChoCho Charles was never going to win any sort of Game of the Year awards. It was never going to be held aloft at the BAFTAs as this shining beacon of what gaming could be or even indeed should be. But what it did have was a giant scary train. And sometimes that's just enough. ChoCho Charles tasked player with building out their train in order to battle Charles, a terrifying spider train hybrid who plans to make short, snacky work of you. And what the game lacks in finesse and critical plaudits, it more than compensates with its wacky, streamer-friendly concept, ensuring that from its initial trailer through to its eventual release, it was widely discussed on social media. And yes, you could be a bit cynical about the sole developer for this game, Gavin's obsession with creating a viral video game, because, you're trying to do stuff that is going to appeal, and don't get me wrong, I understand that you want your game to be successful, but if you're gearing towards just being viral, and that is all you're gearing towards, and not having a deeper message or a deeper meaning, then it's just like I say, it's easy to be cynical about, but you can't deny the results. Everyone, and I mean everyone, was talking about this game. Was it any good when it finally released? No! God, but it didn't need to be. It had already achieved what it set out to, and that was, as I've said before, to be viral. Number 4, Fall Guys. Now, much like Among Us, Fall Guys definitely received the pandemic bump, as we'll call it, because again, when you have got the void outside that is just basically showing you the worst of the world, what better way to exorcise those frustrations than by beating the bloody pulp out some cute-looking, adorable, weird critter things. Fall Guys' addictive game show-style battle royale format and slapstick-level violence made it just the game the world needed at the time, while its profile was massively raised by countless popular streamers playing it, in turn enticing their audiences to get in on the bean-shaped action. And developers Mediatonic certainly knew what they were doing by maintaining a humorous marketing presence on social media, but without players descending upon servers in their masses, its huge-scale multiplayer mayhem would have been an instant bust. Instead, Fall Guys sold over 10 million copies, enough so that it went free to play in June 2022. And though its peak popularity is long behind it, it's still got several thousand players on Steam alone every single day. Number 3, Five Nights at Freddy's. Now, years before most of the games on this list were but a twinkle in the developers' eyes and possible digital ball sacks, there was one game that basically stood aloft as being the one that was made popular by streamers and online content creators, and that was Five Nights at Freddy's. Don't get me wrong, this game franchise has probably definitely overstayed its welcome by now. That movie, ooh, brother, ooh. I mean, just the most of the games from it, ooh. But still, right here, right now, back in the day, FNaF was released, it was a glorious time indeed. It was basically just jump scare the game, and we were all here for it. Let's Plays posted to YouTube by megastar streamers like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and PewDiePie caused Five Nights at Freddy's to become the most uploaded video game on YouTube by 2015, just a year after its release. By this point, the game was enough of a commercial success that creator Scott Cawthon got to work on a sequel and ultimately a wider media empire consisting of novels and a recent Hollywood movie adaptation. As I said before, ooh brother ooh. Cawthon foresaw the horror streamer boom and industriously capitalized on it, delivering a game ripe for reaction video content while also creating a deep, if rather confusing, web of lore which has fascinated the series' millions of fans ever since. And because of his low barrier to entry when it came to mechanics and also the jump scares just being so instantly memeable, it was one of those games where you would have as much fun watching somebody playing it as you would playing it yourself, and it just produced this lovely sort of thing of let's just share this game together. Maybe true, it was overshared to the point of just being hyperbole and ridicule, but still, a great time for the time. Number 2, Helldivers 2. I mean, come on, you knew this was going to be on the list somewhere, Helldivers 2. I mean, it's everywhere, for Super Earth and all that jazz. I'm doing my part. I love the fact that people do not get that this is like a riff on Starship Troopers, and do not get that that film itself is political satire to the extreme. People playing this with a straight po face thinking that they are actually saving Earth. Idiots. The big surprise gaming hit of 2024 so far has undeniably been Helldivers 2, a game which didn't muster too much hype pre-release, yet exploded in popularity almost immediately after. Now, on one hand, Helldivers 2 felt like a refreshing tonic, arriving amidst a sea of bloated, expensive AAA letdowns. I'm looking at you, Suicide Squad, I'm looking at you solely. Offering up a rich, bloat-free live service experience for less than half the price. But that alone can't explain why the game sold over 8 million copies within 2 months of release. That comes down to developer Arrowhead Game Studios perfectly wielding social media to only further enhance the feeling that Helldivers 2 is a genuinely fun, legitimately living game. For starters, its satirical tone ensures that it doesn't take itself too seriously, in turn encouraging players to effectively roleplay their characters in tongue-in-cheek Starship Troopers-inspired fashion on social media. But like I said, some people don't get that that is actually a joke, that may be glorifying the army in such a way as this. Not good. Please gain awareness. With its evolving galactic war and absurdly addictive gameplay loop, Helldivers 2 did everything right in order to retain a huge player base, and 2 months after its release, it's still regularly got over 250,000 concurrent players, serving us hot cups of liberty on Steam. And number 1, Pineapple on Pizza. Now, if all else fails, never discount the power of FOMO to help sell your game, and thus was the case with Pineapple on Pizza, a walking simulator that exploded in popularity when people started just urging other players to give it a try, but without telling them why. And that started to gnaw at them, that ate them away on the inside out until eventually they downloaded the game and finally understood what Pineapple on Pizza is all about. As both a free game and one lasting only around 10 minutes, the barrier to entry couldn't be any lower, and the fact that most gamers kept silent about the specifics of the experience meant that it felt like you were missing out on a massive in-joke if you didn't play the game. And in the spirit of keeping the viral joke going, we're going to keep the game's twist to ourselves, because if you are in any way curious, you can find out the truth for yourself in the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee. For such a bite-sized experience to have such a huge reach thanks to you is utterly incredible. So yes, round of applause to you for keeping games like Pineapple on Pizza in the social mind. Oh, I can't believe I just said brilliant stuff. Cheers though. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video games that blew up thanks to you. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed that. Please remember to leave your comment down below about what you'd like to see on next week's Choose Your Own Adventure. And don't forget, you can follow me on the social medias over here and my wonderful editor over here on their social medias as well. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. I'm actually going to echo what I said at the beginning of the episode right here and talk about gratification. I just want to say a massive thank you to all of those who have supported us here at WhatCulture, over on the Future Game Show as well, the other channel that I work for. Also, just me personally, through the years, the support that you've given, the love and support that you've shown is undeniable. And it would be a massive understatement to say that without you, I couldn't do this, because that is very true. I wouldn't have a career. So thank you for giving me a purpose in life, for allowing me to entertain, for allowing me into your homes, and probably most importantly to me overall, to give me that small platform to talk positively about mental health. I cannot express how much that means to me, to be able to just say that I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're achieving your life goals. I hope that you are reminding yourself every single day that you are a massive ledge. Because I've done this enough now for people to start thinking it's just going through the motions, that I don't actually care. I do. I care a lot. Sometimes too much. I care about you and I want you to do well, all right? So you live a healthy and happy life. It's all I want for anyone. So please treat yourself with that love and respect. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never, ever forget that. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.